Hello fellow old schoolers. Here are the finals of the last live tournament we'll have in a while because of this COVID outbreak. And this is a match between the deck and Erhnam. And we've seen both decks on this channel, but we haven't really had any deck text on them. And I thought, as this is a final, I procured the entire deck text here. This is the Erhnam, who did surprisingly well here, but he has done he's been very stable in his results. So we see we have the 4 Giant Growth, the 4 Berserks here, and the full burn package with Lightning Bolts and Chain Lightnings. Single Ice Storm as a one-off, probably to have an extra answer against Library of Alexandria, and I totally agree with that. It's very light on the power here, only the on-color Moxen, no Black Lotus and no blue power. Single Sylvan Library and a Wheel of Fortune. And a lot of aggro. Beautiful Eldest Archer. Erhnam, Curd Apes, Golden Pixies, and Script Sprites rounds off this very, very aggressive deck. And as is apparent here, his mana curve is very low to the ground. There's a lot of 1-drops here, and most of the burn is 1 mana cost as well. So that means that he can be very, very low on, or very light on the mana or the land part of this deck. And I think he only plays with about 23 mana sources. And this provides him with a soft card advantage. So even though he doesn't have the blue power to draw into hard card advantage, the odds of him drawing useful cards is that much bigger because he doesn't have that much land in the deck. So that's a common strategy with these weenie aggro types of decks. And we've discussed this strategy before on this channel, mainly when I piloted the mono green Stompy deck in the Tournament of Dominion Day, which utilizes a bit of the same strategy. Another thing is those 3 Cities of Brass he has there. That's rather uncommon in a 2-color deck, but he does this because his sideboard includes a full playset of Disenchants, and you can use them to sideboard them in, obviously, after the first match in order to counter stuff like the Abyss, Moat, and other things that will annoy him. I don't think he plays with Blood Moon in this particular deck, and he could do that. I think just a single one in the sideboard, or perhaps 2. But other sideboard options, we can't really see them here, but he uses a single Concordant Crossroads, and I think he has a lot of sushis in the sideboard as well to just put in after the other guy, just to surprise him. And I think that's against the Abyss as well. Also because, it's a bit of a switch around, because his opponent will likely sideboard all his artifact removal out once after the first match, and that will make those sushis that much better. So in this matchup, I can't say that this deck is the favorite because it's not the same tier as the deck, but it has a rather good matchup against the deck, mainly because it has so many small threats that it can just overwhelm the deck with, like ping him with those bolts and small critters. And actually in the semifinals he played against another version of the deck and won that match handily 2-0. So yeah. Sorry if I spoiled that for you guys that haven't seen the match before. It's back at recording number 76. Yeah, it's a good matchup for him. Should be a good one. Let's go to his opponent here. So here's the deck, and in all its glory, I've called it version 2, and this is just to separate it from the other kind of the deck that was on recording on this particular tournament. This version of the deck is a bit different. It is a lot more geared against the Danish meta, which means it's very, very strong against aggro and mid-range decks. So you see there's a Fireball, 3 Lightning Bolts, 4 Swords to Plowshares, and 2 the Abyss main deck. And he has to sacrifice one of the books here, so he only plays with 3 books. That will actually make him that much more vulnerable against the mirror matchup. as another the deck that has a full playset of books and don't use room on lightning bolts and stuff like that, he will have obviously a huge advantage against him. But it seemed to work, and he has played a lot of aggro and mid-range to get here. And it's a brutal machine, this one. He also has those two The Abyss main deck. Otherwise, it functions with slowly gaining control, removing all the threats of the opponent, getting out a book, and accumulating a hard card advantage with Brain Geyser and Sister Recall and those books. And then he'll just kill the other guy with those factories. And he also has 3 Sushi's main deck, and they will function quite nice with his own Abyss, as the Abyss can't target artifact creatures. And it provides the deck with a lot of aggression and punch here. Sideboard options, he has Dust to Dust, Blue and Red Blasts, and Divine Offering. The Red Blasts and all the artifact hate could be useful in the mirror matchup. He has the Circuit Protection Red, the Ivory Tower, and 2 Cities in a Bottle, and they will be very, very strong in this matchup, I think, especially those City in a Bottle. If you remember back to the other deck, he had Erhnam, full place of Curd Apes, and Cities of Frost, so a lot of targets on that those Cities in a Bottle. And obviously, this version of the deck, he also uses the Black Power, Demonic 2-turn Mind Twist. So yeah, both very, very strong and efficient, and very, very classical in this particular matchup is the aggro aggressor against the defender, the deck, the control wizard. So without further ado, let's get it on. And we have the deck on the left here, and Erhnam on the right. They just have a roll off there. And the deck is actually mulliganing down to 6 cards in this, and both players are, okay. Perhaps it's nerves for this final. They really want to have a good hand. Who knows? So we'll see if they can make it work with just 6 cards here. At least they're both doing it, so should be pretty equal. Though I kind of think that it actually hurts the Erhnam slightly more, because he needs to dominate the early game. Okay, just waiting for the other guy to get his card at the bottom here. Yeah, the Erhnam needs to dominate the early game. Oh, Tundra and Sapphire at the onset here, so he can counter. That's the first ping, the lightning bolt cracking down on the head of the deck here. Not worth a counter spell, but doing a lot of damage. Okay, mana draining the Agothian Pixies, so the deck already knows what he's against here. Ooh, using that mana from the Agothian Pixies just to switch off here, being the aggressor himself with that Sushi. Really surprising that move. It's against a full hand. That's not the usual play style of the deck here. He usually should wait for the other guy, but now he's an attack. Okay, Wheel of Fortune here, trying to get into a new hand. The deck won't allow it. So just really using that mana drain for tempo, and now he has a Sushi against him. Second Sushi coming out. This is really surprising. This must really surprise the aggro deck. He has used up all his removal, just aggroing and lightning bolting the other guy. Nothing against those Sushis at the moment. Otherwise, he could have blocked with a factory and then bolted one of the Sushis away. That's game. That's really a change of tactic here. 1-0 for the deck. Just mana draining and just switching the roles up here. Going from being the defender to just punching in and overrunning the aggro deck. Never seen the deck do this. I think it's that build with those Sushis that makes this possible, and he also has those lightning bolts, so he can actually shift gears like this. Really surprising when the other guy has just used up all his removal. For sideboard options here, if the deck knows what he's against here, those City in a Bottles will go straight in. The Ivory Tower and the Circular Protection Red we saw from his sideboard are given as well. He could sideboard in the Blue Blasts if he fears a Blood Moon, but yeah, it's not that much of a deal breaker for him, because he has those disenchanted counter spells, but I suppose it could be a play also to block burn spells. For the other guy, I know he has Red Blasts in his sideboard, so he'll probably sideboard those in. And also disenchants, obviously. He has that trick where he gets in his disenchants after the sideboard, and against the deck, those are given. They have so many targets trying to hold the deck back by destroying his artifact mana early game, or more likely trying to destroy the books once they hit the table. This can surprise the deck, as he'll likely just play them without counter backup here, and then they'll get disenchanted, as he doesn't expect disenchants from his opponent at this point. I think it all depends on whether or not they have scouted each other's decks during the top 8. Sometimes this happens, and it's part of the game. Anyway, those are my predictions. I think the Erhnam Burnham will put in Concordant Crossroads as well. So, without further ado, let's go to the second match. Let's see if the Erhnam Burnham can get back into the game, or if he'll get overrun by an aggressive deck again. And the Erhnam Burnham is actually mulliganing down to 6 cards in this second round one more time. Ooh. But starting off strong here with a Mox and a Sylvan Library turn 1. Oh, the deck is doing one better with a Mox, a Felva Stone, and a Disenchant, removing that Sylvan Library before it could even be used. Okay, but he regrows it, and starting off with the creature aggression here with the Script Sprite. Is that another sushi? No, it's a book. Okay, there's a poke from the sprites, and there's a Sylvan Library a second time. He really needs that. I think he'll likely try to burn some life out just to try to keep up with the deck, keep some extra cards in hand from that Sylvan Library. Though it is a bit more tricky against this version of the deck, because he has a bit of burn and he has those big creatures, but yeah, he does so here. Sacrificing 4 life to keep an extra card. Digging with the Sylvan Library. No follow-up though to that Script Sprite. Okay, looking at the Sylvan Library again. This time not paying life to keep another card. I think he could keep it up though, but he might have something here. He might be satisfied. Okay, Ice Storming the Tundra. Okay, he draws the book. He has so much artifact mana at this point in the deck. Losing the Tundra here. I suppose the Erhnam Burnham saw that there wasn't a second land drop. Okay, from the deck, so that he was a bit vulnerable here, but he has all that artifact mana, just picking the board state apart from the Erhnam Burnham here. Disenchanting the Sylvan Library and lightning bolting the Script Sprite. Oh man, Erhnam Burnham really, he doesn't get anything here. The deck is drawing with that book, getting a City of Brass here. Okay, the Factory, another card for the deck, and Ancestral Recall. Red blasting it, that's so crucial here. Trying to put the brakes on the deck. But he needs to get rid of that book. I wonder if, doesn't he have those disenchants? Factory coming over, getting Source to Plowshare immediately. Drawing more cards. Yeah. Passing the turn and the deck is on a roll here. He needs to get rid of that book, the Erhnam Burnham, or the deck will slowly accumulate too many cards. Attacking with the Factory now. Yeah, he can just strip mine it. There is that mitigating factor that the deck plays with so many... Okay, bolting is straight up. So aggressive, this version of the deck. But he has so many mana sources that the deck that many of those cards he'll draw will actually be lands or artifact mana. Okay, trying to disenchant the book, but it gets countered. Very, very important here for the deck to protect his resources. That book, he can ride it straight to victory. Time walking here after drawing with the book. So many cards. Okay, Codeape coming out. Factory as response. Sol Ring. Oh, that's a city in a bottle. Cracking that ape. And now no Arabian Night cards can be played, so the Erhnam will be held back until they can get rid of that city in a bottle, but he also needs to get rid of the book. So yeah, what can he do? Factory coming over. And he berserks his factory. Okay, that's cheeky. Taking a big punch on the chin, but the factory dies after the attack. And the deck allows this. Now crumpling the book, I think that's the correct call here. He needs to stop it. Okay, but the deck is, yeah, he's just untouchable at this point. Countering that crumple. Second factory hitting the table here. But he can't keep up. I mean, he can't keep producing those counter spells. And it seems like the Erhnam both has crumples and disenchants against him here. It would have been good with the disenchant, but it was a Sylvan, a Pixies. Yeah, you could block the factory with it, but he tries to bolt it, but there's a giant growth, so thereby making the Pixies too big for the lightning bolt to kill it. Clapping again here. There's a lot of prizes being handed out. Okay, Swords to Plowshares on the Golden Pixies, and the factory comes in. Another berserking factories, but he can't keep on taking that much pain. The Erhnam. But at least it gets rid of the factories. I mean, what can he do? It could have been nice if he could have got in with the Pixies, giant growth, and berserking it. It would have been 10 points of damage right there. The deck would have been at 2 points of life. But he needs to use all his resources just to keep the factories off his back here. Demonic Tutor. What can he get here? Perhaps a recall? Getting the Ancestral Recall, Time Walk and stuff like that back into the deck. No! He goes for the kill. I'm not used to the deck playing so aggressive here. Getting the sushi straight out. Wow. It's like aggro the deck. Drawing another card with that book. Tapping the Chaos Orb though, that was a mistake. Factory coming out, Sushi swinging in. That big robot just tearing those Pixies out of the sky here. Okay, another book. I feel like Erhnam is just getting crushed here. Even more draws. This is an Library of Alexandria for even more draw power. Exceptionally aggressive variant of the deck here. Mind Twisting his hand. And here comes the attacker. 6 points of damage. That's game. Wow. Yeah, okay. I suddenly feel slightly better having lost in the previous match against this version of the deck. This was very, very, very much a show of strength here. Here are the sideboard options. Okay, we don't see that, but we saw some Red Blasts and Crumples, Disenchants from Erhnam, and obviously the City in a Bottle and Circle Protection Red from the deck. So yeah, the deck took this one. Henrik Storm took it in a very convincing manner here. And this is a picture of him from one of the organizers of the tournament after the dust had settled and most had gone home. He won his own playmat here. Henrik Storm actually painted this one up for this tournament. So as a show of good sportsmanship, and as he didn't want to have his own prize, he gave it to one of the other players, Jesper Tagelson, and he's being bicycled around on the compound here. This is after the tournament as well. And here are some of the other prizes. Another Jesper painted these up as some different spicy prizes here. This one being the prize for the heaviest drinker, which was won by the pilot of the Power Artifact deck. in good style, I gotta add. And this one, the big fish, was for the most spicy brew, most creative deck. I think it was won by a deck with Ali from Cairo, as far as I remember. And the final one here is for the best non-powered deck here. So yeah, very good tournament and a very pleasant atmosphere here. And even though I didn't qualify for any prizes here, I got kicked out of the top 8 before, and this the Long Island Cup, it only has these prizes. There's a prize for winning the tournament, and number 2 gets an invisibility. Subcategories like playing non-powered and the most spicy brew and getting the most drunk. I got this. It totally took me by surprise here with a standing ovation, and I had to get up and in front of everybody and receive these. Everybody, or most of them, pitched in to make these altars. This is supposed to be me. In the first one, I'm completely clueless, trying to figure out the phone and how to record this stuff. And gradually I get slightly less clueless, I suppose, and that's the second artwork here. That's been an altered Boris Devilboon, the legend that makes small demons, with that quote that's rather nifty. I don't know, apparently I say that a lot. Yeah, but this meant a lot to me, so thank you so much, you guys. That was a really pleasant surprise, and makes it all worth it. So after the tournament, I had my very treasured prizes here, these 2 Gandalfs, and after this video I've signed up for an online tournament, and I've asked people to send me videos of the various games. We are 60 players at this point, so I hope to get some recordings in. And at the moment I'm trying to make the computer work so that I can figure out how to record using a webcam. I'm not the fastest learner, I guess, in this technical department, but I hope I'll manage. So if everything works out, I will see you at the start of the Tournament of Doom, it's called. So yeah, see you then.